everybody. I know it's been a little bit. I've been getting things in order for Passover, and it's a lot of preparation. So anyway, I just wanted to say that sometimes we have to go through a season of like seeing things in a new way that we haven't seen them before. And God is always like taking off that layer and showing us what we didn't see, and you know, kind of like corralling us and pulling us in and going, this is what I want, and this is where you are outside over here, and this, I want you to bring you into the circle. So you need to let go of these things. You need to change your behavior about these other things. You need to be more aware of the impact of your behavior, of doing things or even of not doing things. And just to give you an example, like I've been the kind of person for most of my life where I always had an apartment. So I was always apartment here, there, and depending on where I was living, you know, everything was already set up. So it's like the refrigerator's there, the stove is there, whatever. And the first time I move in, I do a cleaning, but I never like considered or even thought about like, oh, move the refrigerator away from the wall and move the stove away from the wall and take apart all the parts of the stove and the refrigerator and the shelves, and you know what I mean? Like I would just do a surface clean and put my stuff in. And I didn't know, you know, the disgustingness and the grime that could really be existing in, you know, within a stove or a refrigerator. And I was watching all these kosher videos of how people clean, and I was like, holy crap, I had no idea. I just never had that practice, and I was always the busy person that just either hired a cleaner or whatever I did was very surface, you know. So it's just like an eye-opening awakening of like, oh my gosh, look how dirty I've been without even realizing how dirty I was. And then the whole difference between like kosher and non-kosher cleaning in terms of how people prepare. And then it makes sense why certain people are like, ew, I won't go there because it's not kosher, or I won't go there because you don't know how that person cleans, or you don't want to eat that person's food because you don't know how they clean, etc. So it brought my own awareness to a different level. And so I'm just encouraging you during this time of spring cleaning, during this time of like, you know, letting go of all the winter, you know, clutter, to, you know, prepare for spring, to prepare for the new year in the new Hebrew calendar, and to embrace this whole thing of purity and righteousness and cleaning, and not just the physical cleaning, but sometimes it's the physical cleaning of doing the task of removing all this chametz that you see, that, you know, not just the physical dirt behind your furniture and the dust bunnies and the grime that's between the shelves and the goop that was on the bottle of your ketchup container. The point is, it's not just that. It's just showing you that if your refrigerator and stove and floors and whatever, that there are all these hidden things that you didn't even realize were there until you took the time to really look at it and really deep clean it, then the same thing goes for our spiritual relationship with the Lord. And you know how much, you know, crap and grime and sin we might still be stuck in without even realizing it, because we're not reading the Bible, or we don't understand what we read, or we're taking it out of context because we don't really understand the Hebrew foundation of, you know, how Jesus was Jewish, he was Hebrew. And so therefore he would have been practicing the biblical, you know, feasts and the biblical, he was fulfilling the law. So therefore he was following the law. But again, the reminder is, you know, to not take it to this extreme of what the you know, the Jewish Orthodox and Sephardic and, you know, they've taken it to a religious extreme, like you have to have red and blue utensils in order to be, quote, kosher. And the whole point is cleaning and cleanliness is godliness, okay? And that is a way to live: cleanliness, godliness, and purity. But do we have to go to these extremes with, you know, different colored systems and spend all this ridiculous amount of money to have 2 ovens and all this other stuff. And the point is, that's not what was happening in the time of Jerusalem, in the time of the Hebrew people. That was totally not happening. You know, everybody had like more of like a brick oven type of a deal. They didn't have multiple ovens. They had one oven, you know. And the way the things were prepared at the temple, yes, there were strict rules about doing this and that, but you know, the temple itself and the way that they, you know, burn their sacrifices, it was at one location. They didn't have multiple locations for fish and meat and whatever. So, you know, I'm just bringing that into awareness that, you know, it's good to have godliness and through cleanliness, but the extremes of, hey, you have to have red and blue dishes is, again, taking it to the extreme, and that is taking it to a religious nature and not a biblical nature. So I'm just trying to make that distinction. So anyway, I hope that this, you know, brings light to somebody that is, you know, willing to go the distance as far as preparing your house and cleaning for spring cleaning and preparing for the new year, which is the new Hebrew calendar year, which we are embarking on, and to be in the joy of the Lord, that cleanliness is godliness, and that having a clean home, having a clean vehicle, you know, is a really good way to go. And also that, you know, when we are cleaning, that sometimes, you know, we are going to have little mishaps. This is my mishap of steam cleaning my curtains, and I burned myself, tripped on my shoe, and scalded myself with the steam cleaner. So the point is, even in our, you know, desire to get things right, sometimes we're still going to have the mishaps of stumbling, falling, making a mistake, and that is part of the journey. So, you know, take care of yourself. And something I learned was, you know, when you have a burn, it's, you know, the process was dipping it in running cold water, and then like dipping it in like ice cold water in like a pan, and then from there putting aloe on it, and then wrapping it with saran wrap and painter's tape. So there you go. I hope you have a good one, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.